Patrick Swayze. A life marked by passion, talent, and resilience. Discover the exciting journey of one of Hollywood's greatest icons. From his childhood in Texas, where he discovered his passion for dance, to his consecration with films such as Dirty Dancing and Ghost. We will explore his eternal love for Lisa Nemi, the challenges he faced including his battle with cancer and the legacy he left for the world. A story of overcoming and inspiration that you cannot miss. Comment on your favorite Patrick Swayze moment and share this incredible story with your friends. Imagine a boy full of energy, running through the streets of Houston, Texas, with a sparkle in his eyes and dreams bigger than the stars in the sky. That was Patrick Wayne Swayze, born on August 18, 1952, into a family full of life and talent. His mother, Patsy Swayze, was a famous choreographer, passionate about the art of movement, while his father, Jesse Wayne Swayze, was a practical and dedicated engineer. Together they created a home that was like a dance, balanced between discipline and passion. Patrick grew up surrounded by music, art, and stories that sparked his imagination. He wasn't just an ordinary kid, he had a restless spirit and a curiosity that led him to explore everything around him. From an early age he loved to dance, but he also had a great love for sports, especially football. "I'm going to be the best at whatever I do," he would say with the confidence of someone who could see a bright future ahead of him. Can you imagine a young man who seemed destined to be great at whatever he chose? That was Patrick. A relentless dreamer, shaped by the love of his family and the belief that hard work could make any dream come true. Patrick Swayze wasn't just an ordinary kid who loved to run around the field or play football. He had something special, a natural talent for dance. Imagine a boy who, while other children were playing hide and seek, spent hours in his mother Patsy Swayze's studio, watching the graceful movements of the dancers. It was in this environment full of music and rhythm that Patrick took his first steps in dance. His mother, a respected choreographer, was largely responsible for awakening this love in him. "You have something different, Patrick," Patsy would say as she taught him how to move with precision and emotion. And she was right. From an early age, Patrick showed a rare ability to combine strength and grace, something that would make him unique later on. Patrick started dancing when he was about 10 years old, almost as a game. At first, he only took classes because his mother needed someone to fill in the choreography. But to everyone's surprise, he didn't just follow the steps. He mastered them with a naturalness that was enchanting. Even though he faced prejudice for being a boy who danced, he never gave up. His classmates often made fun of him, but Patrick faced it all with a smile. "They may laugh, but one day they will understand," he said confidently. This determination was a reflection of his resilient soul, which was never shaken by criticism. Patrick also had a curious eye for the world of dance. He loved seeing how movements could tell stories without saying a single word. And it was this love that led him to realize that dance was not just something he did, it was part of who he was. Can you imagine a boy so young already having this vision? That was Patrick. Someone who knew from a young age that he was destined to do something great with the talent he had. Now tell me, do you think he let prejudice stop him? Wait until you find out how this passion shaped his entire future. Patrick Swayze was not only a talented dancer, he was also an incredible athlete. From an early age he had energy to spare and loved any activity that challenged his body and mind. Of all the sports, American football was his greatest passion. He was so good at it that many believed he had what it took to become a professional player. At school, Patrick was the kind of kid everyone looked up to. He was charismatic, competitive, and had an impressive ability in the sport. As a running back, he wasn't just fast, he was agile, strategic, and above all, fearless. "Nothing can stop me," he would say before taking the field. It was this confident spirit that made him an essential part of any team. Although dance was an important part of his life, Patrick always believed that football was his future. He dreamed of winning championships, playing for a great team, and maybe even making history in the sport. For him, the combination of physical strength and discipline he learned through dance made him an even more complete player. But life had other plans. During a practice, Patrick suffered a serious knee injury. It was a difficult time, especially since he knew it would jeopardize his career in the sport. The physical pain was great, but the emotional pain was even greater. "I lost what I thought was my destiny," he said in an interview years later. But as always, Patrick found a way to get back on his feet. Instead of letting the injury define him, he used it as a sign to explore other passions. and dance once again took center stage in his life. This transition was not easy, but it showed his incredible adaptability and inner strength. He realized that although football was no longer an option, his body still had a lot to offer the world of art and entertainment. Can you imagine how Patrick turned what seemed like the end into a new beginning? Wait until you find out what the next step was that took him straight into the spotlight. With football out of the picture and dance taking over his life, Patrick Swayze began to explore another hidden talent: acting. He realized that dance and acting had a lot in common. Both required emotion, stage presence, and a connection with an audience. Inspired by this, he decided to try something new and immersed himself in the world of theater. Patrick went to New York to study at renowned performing arts schools such as the Joffrey Ballet and the Harkness Ballet, where he honed his skills. But even though he loved dance, he began to realize that his true place was on stage as an actor. It was there that he found a new way to tell stories, this time with words, facial expressions, and dialogue. While in New York, Patrick was even offered leading roles by major ballet companies, but turned them down. He knew his passion was greater than the confines of the traditional stage. He wanted the camera, the screen, the cinema. It was a bold move, but Patrick was never afraid to go all in on his dreams. His first big break came in Broadway musicals. He rose to prominence playing the lead role of Danny Zuko in the classic Grease. It was there that his blend of charisma, dancing talent, and stage presence began to catch the attention of Hollywood agents. They saw something unique in him, not just an actor but a complete artist. When Patrick arrived in Los Angeles, he already had a solid reputation in the theater. He debuted in small roles on television, but quickly transitioned to film with the film Skatown, USA, 1979. The film was not a huge success, but it opened doors for him. His energy and passion were undeniable, and his determination to conquer Hollywood was clear. Can you imagine how a kid from Texas who started out dancing in his mother's studio ended up on the Broadway stage and then on the Hollywood set? There's still a lot of story to tell. Then his big moment arrived. After years of working hard to make a name for himself, Patrick Swayze received the opportunity that would change his life forever. In 1987, he was cast as Johnny Castle in Dirty Dancing. The film, initially considered a modest production with no great expectations, ended up becoming a cultural phenomenon and turned Patrick into an international star. Johnny Castle was a charming, talented, and rebellious dance instructor, and Patrick brought a unique authenticity to the role. He wasn't just an actor playing a dancer, he was that dancer. His impeccable skills, combined with his emotional intensity, brought to life one of the most memorable characters in cinema. One of the most fascinating things is that Patrick almost turned down the role. He was hesitant to do another dance-focused film, fearing he would be typecast as a one-genre actor. But fortunately for fans, he changed his mind when he read the script and saw the potential of the story. What's more, he insisted on doing all of his dance scenes without stunt doubles, showing off his true talent. And who can forget the iconic lake jump scene? Patrick and his co-star Jennifer Grey had no idea that the sequence would become one of the most beloved of all time. He was also instrumental in choosing the film's main song, "I've Had the Time of My Life," which won an Oscar for Best Original Song. Dirty Dancing was a huge success. The film grossed over $200 million at the box office and became an instant classic. Patrick, now a Hollywood heartthrob, won fans all over the world. People not only loved his talent, but also his genuine and approachable personality. He was a performer who seemed to truly connect with audiences. But was Patrick prepared for the weight of fame that Dirty Dancing brought? And how did he deal with such a sudden change? Just wait and see how he coped with life in the spotlight. After the resounding success of Dirty Dancing, Patrick Swayze was firmly established as one of Hollywood's biggest stars. But in 1990, he reached new heights with one of the most moving and unforgettable roles of his career: Sam Wheat in Ghost. This film touched the hearts of millions of people around the world and showed Patrick's deepest and most romantic side. Ghost is the story of Sam, a man in love who, after being murdered, returns as a spirit to protect the woman he loves, Molly, played by Demi Moore. The film explores themes of love, loss, and the spiritual connection between two people, and Patrick delivered a performance that was both moving and powerful. His chemistry with Demi Moore was palpable, and together they created scenes that are still revered today. Believe it or not, Patrick had to fight hard for the role of Sam Wheat. The producers initially had doubts about his ability to convey the vulnerability required for the character. But Patrick, determined as ever, insisted on auditioning. He delivered such an emotional performance that there was no doubt the role was his. And who can forget the famous pottery scene? That intimate and passionate sequence, set to the sound of Unchained Melody, is one of the most iconic scenes in cinema history. Patrick has said in interviews that this scene was one of the most challenging, as it required a deep emotional connection and total surrender to the moment. Ghost was a huge success, grossing over $500 million at the box office and winning 2 Oscars, including Best Original Screenplay. More important than the numbers, however, was the emotional impact of the film. Patrick touched the hearts of so many people that he came to be seen not only as a heartthrob, but as an actor of enormous sensitivity and depth. Now tell me, do you think Patrick was able to handle the emotional weight of playing such a remarkable character? Wait until you find out how Ghost impacted not only his career, but also his personal life. Patrick Swayze was more than a romantic heartthrob. He was a complete actor, capable of diving into diverse characters and delivering memorable performances. After winning over audiences with Dirty Dancing and Ghost, he wanted to prove that he could do much more. He sought roles that showed his adventurous, rebellious, and even dangerous side, revealing a versatility that few expected. One of the most striking examples was the film Point Break, 1991, in which Patrick played Bodhi, a charismatic surfer and outlaw. This role was completely different from his previous characters. Bodhi was a radical philosopher, obsessed with freedom and adrenaline, and Patrick brought to him a magnetic and unpredictable energy. He also performed most of the action scenes, including the thrilling surfing and skydiving sequences, showing his dedication and courage. During the filming of Point Break, Patrick refused to use stunt doubles for many of the skydiving scenes. He was already a certified skydiver and wanted to make the film as authentic as possible. The crew was impressed by his daring and professionalism. Another highlight was the film Red Dawn, 1984. An action thriller in which he played a young leader fighting against an enemy invasion. The film showcased his talent for intense and patriotic roles, something that captivated a completely different audience. And let's not forget Roadhouse, 1989, where Patrick played Dalton, a bar bouncer with an unexpected philosophical side. This role cemented his image as a man of action without losing his charm. Patrick always sought roles that challenged him and allowed him to explore new aspects of himself. He wanted people to see beyond the heartthrob image and recognize his passion for telling complex and exciting stories. Do you think Patrick stopped there? He was just beginning to show that he could be so much more than what Hollywood labels said. Find out how he continued to surprise audiences. Behind the glitter of the silver screen and the Hollywood spotlight, Patrick Swayze lived a love story that could easily be the plot of a romantic film. He met Lisa Niemi in 1970, when she was just 15 and a dance student of his mother, Patsy Swayze. Patrick was 18 and something special happened between them from the first moment they met. Despite the age difference and shy beginnings, their love grew, and on June 12, 1975, they were married. Lisa was much more than his wife. She was his partner in everything. They shared a passion for dance, country life, and even the horses they raced together on their ranch in New Mexico. Patrick said that Lisa was the force that held his life together. They faced moments of joy and challenges, but always together, showing that their love was solid as a rock. One of the most romantic moments of their relationship was when Patrick wrote the song, She's Like the Wind. He wrote the song with Lisa in mind as a way of expressing how much she meant to him. The song was included on the Dirty Dancing soundtrack and became a global hit, immortalizing their love in artistic form. Despite all their love and complicity, Patrick and Lisa did not have children. They faced difficulties in starting a family, something they both wanted very much. In interviews, Patrick admitted that it was one of the greatest challenges in his personal life, but he also said that his relationship with Lisa was so deep that even without children, they felt they had everything they needed in each other. They filled their lives with artistic projects, travel, and simple moments on the ranch, where they took care of horses and lived close to nature. The foundation of their relationship was built on honesty and mutual support. Patrick faced emotional battles throughout his life, including alcoholism, but Lisa remained by his side, offering strength and love. "She is my strength," he often said, recognizing that Lisa was his greatest ally in times of difficulty. Another aspect that united the two was their passion for airplanes. Lisa was a pilot just like Patrick, and flying together was one of their favorite activities. For them, flying was not just a hobby, but a symbol of freedom and mutual trust. Even with their fame and Hollywood commitments, Patrick and Lisa always tried to keep their personal lives out of the spotlight. They enjoyed spending time on the ranch, caring for the animals and enjoying the tranquility. It was there that Patrick found peace and recharged his batteries to face the glamorous and often demanding world of entertainment. But was this strong love enough to get him through the darkest moments of his life? Get ready to see how Lisa became his greatest strength in the challenges that lay ahead. Patrick Swayze's life was not all glamour and acclaim. He faced profound challenges that tested his emotional and spiritual strength. One of the most difficult moments came in 1982 when his father, Jesse Wayne Swayze, passed away suddenly due to a heart attack. Patrick was extremely close to his father, and this loss shook his foundations. He entered a period of great sadness and introspection, questioning his purpose and seeking ways to cope with his pain. During this phase, Patrick found refuge in his work, but he also faced another challenge: alcoholism. The pressure of fame, the need to always be perfect in the public eye, and personal losses led him to seek comfort in drinking. It was a turbulent time, but Patrick was never one to give in to his problems. He recognized the need for change and sought help, showing that his determination was not just a characteristic of his characters, but of his real life. One way Patrick found to cope with stress was through hobbies that connected him to nature. He loved flying airplanes, a passion that made him feel free and in control. He once said, "When I'm in the sky, it's like I can leave all my problems on Earth." Another important part of his journey of overcoming was the unconditional support of his wife, Lisa. She was by his side through every battle, offering strength and love. Together, they found ways to rebuild their emotional and spiritual stability, which further strengthened their relationship. Patrick used these difficult experiences to give more depth to his characters. He channeled his pain and learnings to create authentic and moving performances. The vulnerability he brought to the screen was a reflection of his own life, making him even more beloved by fans. And you think Patrick let his hardships define who he was? Wait until you see how he turned those struggles into strength and continued to shine like never before. Patrick Swayze's greatest struggle in life began in 2008, when he received a devastating diagnosis: advanced pancreatic cancer. This news shook not only Patrick and his family, but also the millions of fans around the world who admired him deeply. Pancreatic cancer is one of the most aggressive forms of the disease, and the prognosis is often grim. However, Patrick faced this challenge as he always has in life, with courage, determination, and an unbreakable spirit. Soon after his diagnosis, he began rigorous treatment, which included chemotherapy and lifestyle changes. Despite the physical and emotional pain, Patrick refused to let the disease define him. He continued to work, starring in the series The Beast, where he played a tough and determined FBI agent. His dedication to his work was impressive, and he often filmed long scenes while dealing with the side effects of his treatment. During the filming of The Beast, Patrick made a point of showing his colleagues and crew that he still had strength. He never wanted to be treated as someone who was fragile or sick. Even on the toughest days, he would arrive on set with a smile and an energy that inspired everyone around him. In addition, Patrick used his battle to raise awareness about pancreatic cancer. He participated in campaigns, gave emotional interviews, and became an important voice for other patients and their families. He spoke openly about the impact of the disease, but also about the importance of living each day to the fullest. "I'm not ready to give up," he would say. "There's still so much I want to do." Patrick's strength also came from his wife, Lisa, who was by his side through it all. She was his biggest support, lovingly caring for him and helping him through every step of his battle. Together, they formed a united and determined team, proving that true love can be one of the most powerful forces in the world. You think Patrick let cancer defeat him? Wait until you see how he faced his disease with a strength that inspired millions of people around the world. Even when facing one of the most aggressive and challenging diseases, Patrick Swayze did not hide. He did something few people have the courage to do: he shared his struggle publicly. For Patrick, hiding the truth was not an option. He wanted people to see that even in the most difficult circumstances, it was possible to find strength, courage, and hope. In emotional interviews, Patrick spoke candidly about his battle. He never romanticized what he was going through, but he also never gave in to despair. "You can fight or you can give up," he would say. "And I chose to fight." These words have touched millions of people around the world, especially those who were facing their own battles with cancer or other challenges. Even during treatment, Patrick refused to let the disease dictate his life. He continued to pursue his favorite hobbies such as flying airplanes and spending time on the ranch with his horses. He believed that staying active and focused was a way to endure not only physically but emotionally. Patrick also found strength in spirituality. He often spoke about the importance of connecting with something bigger than oneself, finding peace and meaning even in the darkest moments. "Life is short," he would say, "but if you live with purpose, every day is worth it." His fans, friends, and colleagues rallied to support him. Tributes began pouring in from around the world, with people sharing how Patrick had touched their lives, not just as an actor but as a human being. This outpouring of love and support meant a lot to him, and he often became emotional when talking about how the public encouraged him to keep fighting. You think Patrick stopped living life to the fullest because of cancer? Wait until you find out how he made his final moments a true celebration of life. On September 14, 2009, the world lost Patrick Swayze, but his legacy never faded. After a 20-month battle with pancreatic cancer, he passed away at his home, surrounded by his beloved wife, Lisa Nemi, and his family. Patrick was only 57 years old, but in his relatively short life, he left an indelible mark on the history of cinema and on the hearts of millions of people. The news of his death caused a worldwide outcry. Fans, colleagues, and admirers gathered to celebrate his life and pay tribute to a man who was not only a talented artist, but also an example of strength, humility, and humanity. Tributes poured in from around the world, from special screenings of Dirty Dancing and Ghost to fundraisers dedicated to pancreatic cancer research. In Patrick's final days, he found solace in his New Mexico ranch, a place where he always felt connected to nature and to himself. Even as his health declined, he made a point of spending time outdoors, caring for his horses and enjoying the simple moments in life. Patrick's farewell was also marked by gestures of gratitude from him. He frequently expressed in interviews and statements how grateful he was for his wife, his family, and his fans. He believed that every message of support he received was proof that he had touched lives in a meaningful way. Lisa Nemi, who was by Patrick's side for more than 3 decades, continued to honor his memory after his passing. She wrote a moving book about their life together, titled Worth Fighting For, in which she shared intimate and inspiring stories about the man she loved. Do you think Patrick's story ended here? No, his impact is eternal, and his spirit lives on in every film, song, and memory he left behind. Come see how he continues to inspire generations. Although Patrick Swayze is gone, his legacy lives on, shining like the stars he loved to watch in the Texas sky. He left a mark not only as an actor, dancer, and singer, but as a human being who lived with passion, determination, and authenticity. His films such as Dirty Dancing, Ghost, and Point Break continue to captivate new generations. Iconic scenes such as the water jump in Dirty Dancing or the thrilling pottery sequence in Ghost remain etched in the cultural memory and are often memorialized in other works. But Patrick's impact goes beyond his performances. He embodied the idea that anyone with dedication and heart can overcome challenges and achieve greatness. In 2012, 3 years after his death, Patrick received a special tribute at the Dirty Dancing Festival, held annually in Lake Lure, North Carolina, where the film was filmed. Fans from around the world gathered to celebrate his life and legacy with dances, film screenings, and storytelling. In addition to his contributions to entertainment, Patrick is remembered for his role in raising awareness about pancreatic cancer. His public fight brought attention to the severity of the disease and encouraged research and patient support. Charities and events dedicated to cancer research often mention Patrick as an inspiration. His wife, Lisa Nemi, continues to honor his memory by not only sharing stories from their life together, but also by dedicating herself to causes that were important to him. She often says, "Patrick lives on in every smile, in every moment that someone remembers how he touched their lives." Throughout Patrick's battle with pancreatic cancer, Lisa was his rock. She was there for him every step of the way, caring for him, helping him through his treatments, and making sure he never lost hope. even in the darkest days she reminded him how much he was loved and admired. This unconditional support was essential for Patrick to face his illness with such courage. Imagine living a love so strong that neither time nor adversity can erase it. This was the story of Patrick and Lisa, an eternal love that, even without children, blossomed in every moment they shared. Have you ever heard of a love so powerful? Patrick Swayze was not just an actor. He was a symbol of perseverance, talent, and love. He showed us how to dance in the rain of life, how to fight even when everything seems lost, and how to leave a legacy that will continue to inspire generations. And now I ask you, what can we learn from Patrick Swayze's story? That our dreams, courage, and passion can echo far beyond our time. Let's keep the memory of this unforgettable icon alive. Patrick Swayze was much more than a talented actor and an extraordinary dancer. He was an example of resilience, courage, and authenticity. His story teaches us that even when faced with the greatest challenges, it is possible to find the strength to move forward and leave a legacy that inspires generations. Whether it is in the unforgettable roles he played, the songs that moved the world, or the eternal love he experienced with Lisa Nimi, Patrick showed us that life is about passion, dedication, and living each moment to the fullest. But this is just part of Patrick Swayze's incredible journey. And now we want to hear from you. What is your favorite scene of his? Do you have any special memories related to Dirty Dancing, Ghost, or any of his other films? Leave a comment and share with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any inspiring stories like this one. Here we continue to celebrate the lives and legacies that have left their mark on the world. Until next time.